Hello folks, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Tour Love, here to talk about AEW Dynamite from last night, November 13th, 2024. Crazy stuff here, but nonetheless, I thought in my review of Dynamite, I would say it was pretty well. Not spectacular, but certainly built in a number of aspects going into Full Gear, which I enjoyed. So, yeah, let's talk about Full Gear, shall we? Divulge in. But nonetheless, thank you all for joining me. Of course, if you guys are new to the podcast, again, and you enjoy what you see, you want to continue to see more videos, subscribe there in the corner, there in the box. Click subscription bell, notification bell. You guys know the parameter now, so it's like, yeah. But anyway, let's talk about AEW Dynamite, shall we? So, I thought it did pretty well to start. Christian Cage and Hangman versus Jay White and Juice Robinson. This was a fun match, tying into Christian, Jay White, Hangman, all the jazz. We know Jay White versus Hangman is going to have at Full Gear. Should be a fun match nonetheless. Christian's involvement in this storyline, narrow, but still involved. But anyway, this was a solid match. We knew when we saw this match who was going to take the pin, and that's just how it is sometimes. But credit to Juice. Juice is great as talent. Buckshot lariat by Hangman for the win. Kind of expected. Hangman needs momentum going into this match at Full Gear. It's tough because I want to see Jay White, featured in a more significant role as a singles guy. We know that. Hangman is arguably doing the best work of his AEW run with his current character. Excuse me. And we know he should be perhaps fighting for the AEW World title again. So I have to believe that both these guys, at least one of these guys, will be in the Continental Classic, which coincidentally is starting in 2 weeks, so that will be great. We shall see. Next up, Mercedes Moné. So she's gonna fight Chris Sadler, and we know from TV title at Full Gear. Mercedes was talking with Renee down the hallway, and talked about, Renee implied, they hit Sadler with their car last week, and Mercedes all put off like, it's not my fault, Camille doesn't know how to drive. So anyway, while Camille was worrying about Mercedes' coat, all of a sudden we see Sadler appear behind her, Mercedes, and they get a brawl. Then Camille, and I appreciate when they try to do this, the problem is we've seen it with WWE also in the past, and it just looks odd when you see them fly through a wall per se, and it looks like, I mean, I get the effects, but it looks kind of clunky, I will say that. Anyway, so look, we're getting a Mercedes versus Chris at the pay-per-view. It's gonna be great. The only issue is like with Jay White and Hangman. I don't want to see either of these two lose. That's the issue, because Chris taking another big loss, and Mercedes could lose, but on the other hand, if Sandler wins, Sandler should be going for the women's world title, and her winning the TBS title would almost feel like a lateral move. Safe to say. This was a fun segment. Will Ospreay. He was introduced by Tony Schiavone, and Ospreay was out there and called out Kyle Fletcher. Kyle, you know what's funny? Kyle resembling Don Callis more is very interesting, and we saw he got heat. Not Don Callis level heat, but it's good to see. So Fletcher put off as in they talked about, about the past, Fletcher living on Ospreay's couch, living with him during the pandemic in Australia, and this and that, talking about the past, bringing him in the United Empire, and so on and so forth, paving the way for him in AEW, etc. And Kyle put off as, he did it for him, not for Fletcher, as in making him into a Will Ospreay quote. And they talked about the segment where Fletcher shaved his head in the middle of the ring, saying that he's not like Will Ospreay. And Fletcher wants to prove it, that he's nothing like Ospreay. He challenged Ospreay to a match at Full Gear. Ospreay was talking about, it's about his 5 minutes of fame. Lance Archer, Brian Cage showed up, and Will Ospreay is like, no guys, it's okay, I got some friends as well. And then Powerhouse Hobbs, well, again, it's great to see him back, and Mark Davis. They both appeared to even the odds for Will Ospreay in this big 6-man brawl, so that was fun. And yeah, we got this match broiling for Full Gear. Should be interesting. So then we went almost immediately. So it was announced that Roderick Strong would fight Lance Archer in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And of course, this stipulation, I will say, was weird. So MJF originally said, well, if Roddy wins his 3 matches, if Cole wins his 3 matches, then it's a triple threat at Full Gear. Or MJF, excuse me. That was what Cole said last week. But MJF said the winner, the fastest, the 3 victories, gets him at Full Gear. So, a little bit of confusion as we got Roddy versus Lance Archer, and then we got Adam Cole versus Konosuke Takeshita. So, nonetheless, it was a Falls Count Anywhere match. It was fun. They brawled in the back. And then up in Sands area, obviously Kingdom got involved. You know, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven. It was fun, I will say. But then, by the Sands area in the crowd, Roddy hit a big knee, and then that was enough to get the win over Lance Archer. Now, I'm good for Roddy, you know, progressing. On the other hand, you guys understand feelings about Lance Archer's booking in AEW, so just seeing him lose again, and then here Roddy is suspect for me. Anyway, so Strong wins, and then it's funny, we get into an attack or brawl for Takeshita and Adam Cole, and then we quickly form into that match. Did feel a bit clunky, didn't feel like we had much time to breathe, so we get to that match. Which, I mean, yeah, Cole wins, it's a triple threat, but Cole loses, it's MJF versus Roddy. Now, I will say, because I saw some comments about it, Adam Cole spray tans as of late. You know, now that he's split from Britt Baker, happened weird looking. I will say that. Anyway, so we got Adam Cole versus Konosuke Takeshita. This was a fun match, you know, between 2 of the best. It was a weird conundrum because, at least for Roddy pinning Archer's not a champion. But for Cole to progress in this, you would have to be a champion and Konosuke Takeshita. I know people don't like seeing champions, including myself, beat on TV in non-title affairs. So this was a conundrum. So, but in the end, and you kind of figured, because MJF gave a ring, diamond ring, to Don Callis for someone to use. And then we saw Konosuke Takeshita get something from under the ring, and it turned out to be the diamond ring, which he wrapped on his pinky to deliver a blow to Adam Cole, knocking him out, and thus ending Adam Cole's road to Full Gear, at least temporarily. So Takeshita was looking for more of the beatdown. Roddy tried to intervene. He caught a big low blow, and he was saved by Kyle O'Reilly. So Interesting. First interaction we've seen of Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roddy quite a long time. So we shall see. The Hurt Syndicate. We're backstage. So MVP was trying to show Renee how to properly interview someone. So he interviewed Bobby Lashley for Renee, and Bobby Lashley told Renee and the audience that yes, Swerve's dangerous, but he's never been against someone like me, and he will hurt Swerve at Full Gear. And MVP was like, there we go. There you go. So yeah. And they'll be watching Swerve's match with Lil Rush closely. Jon Moxley and the Death Riders were out there as Moxley cut a promo on Orange Cassidy. Now, were you to attack JD Drake with a chair? Suspect. It's like, I mean, the guys talking about their takeover of AEW and they attack him. I can understand for people. Anyway, Moxley was out there. He got a promo on Orange Cassidy and such, and we hear Orange Cassidy music hit, and he was out there with Mark Briscoe and Rocky Romero talking about how beats Moxley and Take Back was a symbol for AEW at Full Gear. So there was that. And Darby Allin got to the mix. So cool there. And it was funny as Darby was in the bed of the truck, and he attacked Claudio, which, threw Darby into like this sealed garage door. I mean, it was just hilarious somewhat and brutal at the same time. So yeah. So next week we got Darby versus Claudio. Should be an interesting match to look forward to. Also, forgot to say that in the opening match with Hangman, Christian, Jay and Juice, Hook attacked Nick Wayne. So again, nice involvement for Hook as they continue that little bit of storyline with him and Christian. We may get that match at Full Gear, which would be interesting. Or maybe a Hook Nick Wayne match. We shall see. Britt Baker versus Penelope Ford. Britt Baker's booking has been weird this year, it's safe to say. It's like she returned at Forbidden Door, reigned on Mercedes Parade, and then this build between Britt and Mercedes all in, and then it was not. It was the sour moment of the card for a lot of people, from what I gathered on social media and online. Then she returns. We hear about the suspension. We hear about her breakup with Adam Cole. Number of things. And then she comes back a couple weeks ago. And then now she's here facing Penelope Ford, which fun match. She won with Lockjaw. And then now appears her next feud is Serena Deeb, which is a unique feud, I'd say. But the weird thing is, Brett's booking has been weird this year. Serena Deeb, at one time earlier this year, it seemed like they were trying to book her, and then they stopped with that. And then it's like the inconsistency, it's what bothers people. So it's like, we'll see. We'll see. Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron. Apparently those two will have a match at Collision. That's all I'll say about that segment. Swerve Strickland versus Leo Rush. This was an interesting match. Look, Leo Rush, we know, is very good. Swerve, former world champion. Yet, obviously, this second match, since being Shelton Benjamin, and this was very good for Leo Rush. And Swerve home with the big pressure, the former JML driver, which come big pressure. Very good finish and for the win. Called out Bobby Lashley for a fight. And we can already tell, because we didn't see Shelton Benjamin, we saw Bobby Lashley and MVP cut a promo on the way to the ring. And Shelton Benjamin attacked Swerve from behind, and there was that. Big beat down, all of them. Swerve, Prince Nana. The weird thing is how they make officials look in pro wrestling. It's just odd. Referees. That's my opinion. Yeah. Jamie Hayter. So she was backstage. She beat Penelope Ford in a solid match last week. I think that will feud. She talked about how she wanted to right some wrongs when being back, and she said that it'd be important for her to focus on one thing now. And my guess is she was going to talk about the Women's World Championship, the championship she had before getting injured, and then dropped it to Toni Storm. So then the lights go out, and then we cut to this little video package of Julia Hart, who we've been seeing more videos of the last few weeks. And it's like she was in a room, and then she opened up some doors, and then she was given a bow and arrow, and then her patented hat for the House of Black, and then how colors flex in and out of red. You know, it was very good. So, Julia Hart targeting Jamie Hayter. It's an interesting feud to look at. We'll see. We'll see. Then the main event, House of Black versus FTR. 4 corners qualifying match to see who goes to Full Gear in that 4 corners tag team title match against currently Private Party and the Outriders, who have currently both qualified. This was an interesting match between 2 teams that it's safe to say, you know, both their bookings have been weird as of recently. I mean, we last saw Malachi Black lose to Adam Cole literally a week ago, and then people were wondering about that, wondering about his future, and then we see FTR vs House Black, interesting match, but who prevails? So House of Black gets the win here, or the Kings of Black Throne, whichever you want to say. Black and Brody, they win over FTR, and Private Party, I was happy for the win, and it looked like they were kind of teasing maybe Private Party vs FTR on Collision last week, but they lost this match. So it's like, where does FTR go from here? We'll see. As far as House of Black, you know, I would love it if they put the titles on them at Full Gear. Then again, Private Party, the Outrunners would be so I mean, they have been getting over, but it would be a bit random for them to win at this time instead of building to them winning. House of Black would be currently my pick to win this match. We shall see. Now in Collision, we'll get LFI versus the Acclaimed for the final spot in the 4 quarters match at Full Gear. We shall see. But yeah, I'd say overall went pretty well for AEW Dynamite. Nothing flashy, but certainly built towards a number of things going to Full Gear. So glad for that. But nonetheless, guys, thank you all for joining me today on the podcast. See you guys next week, and then for Full Gear next weekend. So take care for that, and be open, be safe, guys. Adios, peace.